What's up? It's me. Remember? Of course you don't. What I gotta review is bad. Because, and I know this is an Angry Joe's department, but I'm actually gonna do the remake of Halloween and save him the trouble. In the original, you knew Michael Myers, a little kid, had accidentally was somehow possessed because he had a little mark like this. Hold on. Recognize this sign? You should. From I think like in the 4th or 5th film of Halloween, The Return of Michael Myers or The Revenge of Michael Myers, y'all should know this is the sign of this. This sign was showed right here on his arm, right here. Right here. Basically, I love how they gave Michael a brand. I like the original mask for Michael Myers better. But I think either New Line Cinema or Platinum Dunes had something to do with Michael Myers' terrible sequel. In the sequel to the remake of Halloween, right near the end of the movie, they actually got Michael Myers to say, die. After over 15 years in that insane asylum, he actually talked. And you know what, goddamn well, in the fucking originals through the rest of the franchise, that Michael Myers does not talk. He was a silent murderer in Haddonfield, Illinois, in the movies. And I don't know why my body and my knees are shaking. Maybe it's just because I've just watched both of these. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I watched them both today. Basically, one thing you never do is fuck up the originals. Try and expand the story longer. You do not go back to the very beginning and redo it. You just don't. That's the one thing you should do about movies. Never remake them unless you can improve on what failed in the original. Like in Nightmare on Elm Street. The movie was excellent. Spot on. I would give the original a 10 out of 10. God, my legs are shaking so bad. I don't know why. But really, when people remake shit, that just pisses me off. Like how I'm glad somebody like Legendary remade Godzilla. They stuck close to the story. I gotta admit that. That was fun. They brought Dr. Serizawa. He didn't die. That was the one thing I was improved on and loved. 61 years ago, the first Godzilla film was being produced. Or earlier than that. But when you go and fuck up something as classic as the original Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Child's Play, any kind of horror film, you go and remake it, you're gonna have a fucked up new franchise. Seriously. Now, I like how they did Freddy. I like how... I'm not glad that Nancy Thompson, Heather Langenkamp was cut off at the end of this movie. That is the main character and Freddy's main rival in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchises. In the third installment, she was killed. I gotta say, when I first saw this movie, not on TV but on DVD, I was shocked to find out that Nancy Thompson was killed. But in this one, she has a child, and Freddy is trying to communicate to the child, called Dylan. Heather Langenkamp, aka Nancy Thompson. Alright, I just watched this one. I can tell you how it went. And for spoiler alert, if you have not seen this one, click off this video right now. But if you have seen it, non-spoiler alert. Alright. When Dylan got out of the hospital, he was running towards his home to get Rex, the stuffed dinosaur. But apparently, Freddy was kind of... Here's the part I'm trying to get to. Alright, the guy John Saxon was a great actor in the first film of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. He came to Heather Langenkamp's home and says, "Nancy, are you okay, Nancy? Let me talk to you for a bit, Nancy." I think somehow Heather Langenkamp accidentally accepted the role as Nancy Thompson one last time. And I just hope that the remake sequel is at least double better than the original's sequel. Like, it would be embarrassing if Platinum Dunes just went and just copied New Line Cinema. Yes, New Line Cinema was the creation for these two Nightmare on Elm Street films. New Line Cinema, New Line Cinema. New Line Cinema is a great company to do horror films on, like Nightmare on Elm Street. But when they went and tried to what they try to do with Halloween and Five Nights, Friday the 13th, no way. But I'm getting off topic. Alright. I admit, the new character that plays Laurie Strode in the reboot of Halloween, she was kind of badass because she actually pointed a gun at Michael. But I don't know. But the one thing that creeps me out about the reboot is that they give Michael's backstory. We fucking know the backstory. Kid was possessed. Plain simple. Kid possessed, killed his sister, tried to kill the remains of his family. And here's the part I don't get. Why couldn't he have killed his little sister Lori when she was a baby? That would have saved him grief from having more sequels. Seriously though, if you're gonna be a killer and you want to kill your family off, do it in one night if they're all in the whole home with you. If you're a killer. I repeat, if you are a serial killer. If you're not a killer, then don't do that. Like I know a million of you people wouldn't do. So, for my final break for Halloween and its reboot, and the sequel reboot, I would have to... Alright, here's what I give for the original. A 9 out of 10 on the original Halloween. In that one, you could never see Michael Myers' face except for when Laurie pulled it off by complete accident. But in the reboot, you never see Michael's face unless you see it from the beginning of the movie. But really, my final verdict for the remake of Halloween is I think a 4 out of 10. It's a decent movie, but not too many. You don't need to have too many backstories about Michael Myers. We all know he's a mass serial killer in the holiday Halloween, not the movie, and also in the movie. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, in this one, Nancy Thompson, aka Heather Langenkamp, while she was worried so much about her child, this part of her hair actually started turning gray. You could go to the hospital scene in this one and see that her hair was starting to turn gray. Gray. I know it's wrong. I know I could be Freddy Krueger. Could I? So, if you like my little review, like Angry Joe, if you like this review, click over here in the subscribe button down here under the video. Also, click here if you want to see the rest of my views. If you want to see the rest of my videos. Alright. Bye bye. See you in the next video.